as it was expected, or it was some time ago. Now, before that, of course, the number of cases in the entire country has also risen, and it is now 2,08,000 cases. It has crossed that mark as well, which is quite worrying. Across the country, the number of cases are increasing, and these numbers are increasing at a much more drastic pace than it is in any of the countries that were even worse affected than India, including Italy and France as well. So that's a worrying factor. But here I try to bring in any positive news that we have regarding coronavirus, which is why today we're going to talk about what an AIIMS doctor has said. He has spoken about the possibility that perhaps now the virus is not as deadly or fatal as it was right in the beginning of the pandemic. Now, he has spoken about the cases that have come to light in the entire country, and he has said that 90% of the cases now have only mild symptoms, and this is a sign that the virus might be weakening. Of course, there's another side to it as well, but let's take a look at what the AIIMS doctor has said. The doctor is Dr. Randeep Guleria, who spoke about it, and he's the director of AIIMS, and he said that as opposed to what the situation was, say, 1 month ago, the number of cases that have come to light now, in these cases, the symptoms are very low, and this could be a sign of the virus weakening. So that's going to be something very positive. In fact, even prior to this, there have been talks of whether perhaps this virus could also become now common. Just how we have cold, it's not fatal, but several people are infected with it. So there were talks on the possibilities of perhaps coronavirus also becoming a virus like that is not fatal as such. So now the AIIMS director has also spoken about it, which has come as a ray of hope, because the number of cases across the country are increasing, and as I've spoken about the recovery rate as well, the recovery rate in India in particular is quite good, and that has been the silver lining in the increasing cases that have come to light. No doubt, now with the restrictions being eased completely, more and more people are getting infected. Now, of course, now transportation is also getting much easier without too many restrictions, which means more and more people would also be traveling around. Yes, we are following the social distancing norms as well as the other guidelines that have been put in place, but it's going to be very difficult to contain the virus just how it was contained during the lockdown. And this is the reason why these worries had been expressed. Now with the doctor saying that, it's not as fatal as it was before, this has come as a huge sigh of relief for the people across the country. And he spoke about how people who initially contracted the disease with serious symptoms have now decreased drastically, which means a month ago, a lot of people who had coronavirus had very strong symptoms, and, in a few cases, just days after they were detected with COVID-19, within days of that, they would lose their lives as well. Now the treatment is getting better. Of course, the detection is also happening much sooner. So that could also be one of the reasons why the cases are in control, not in terms of the numbers, but in terms of how we are dealing with it. So as far as the vaccine is concerned, now human trials have begun, but there is still no 100% success. So vaccines are going to be a long way away. So that's not going to happen. So this is the hope that we can cling on to, that yes, the virus is weakening, which means that if people get coronavirus as well, there's no threat as such as much as before that, people could die of coronavirus, because the recovery rate, especially in India, has been very good. Across the world as well, it has increased, but India in particular, it has increased drastically, and it is higher than the world average as well. So talking about the recovery rate and the number of cases as well, it's also important to note that 80% of the cases come from 12 to 13 cities across the country. So this, in a sense, is a worry, because there could be a cluster of cases in these 12 to 13 cities that have coronavirus cases, and these are, of course, the metropolitan cities. So they are the hearts of economic activities around the country. So that's one side of the worry. But on the other side, the fact that 12 to 13 cities account for 80% of the coronavirus cases also means that the authorities can focus their attention on these areas and work towards bringing the situation under control. So while I spoke about what the AIIMS doctor has said, even though we might be very happy about that and might be hoping that it's true, on the other hand, we also have the WHO that has denied it. Now, this is not the first time such a claim has been made. Previously, Italy, one of the worst affected countries because of coronavirus, a doctor from northern Italy, where the most number of cases had emerged, had also spoken about this very factor. He spoke about it, and he said that it is weakening in Italy as well. He said that the number of cases might be on the upside in Italy, but it's not as fatal as it was before. So this was the claim that the doctor had made, and that has come as a big surprise, because that was the time when the cases were increasing across the globe at a very drastic rate, and it looked like the cases could not be controlled at all. So the moment a doctor from Italy, a very celebrated doctor, made this statement that the virus might be weakening, it came as a ray of hope across the country, but there was an immediate denial from the WHO as well. The World Health Organization also said that it's not a possibility that WHO is looking at. Well, it is something that we can feel happy about, or it should come as a big relief for people. That's not the case. And the WHO had also clarified on the same, saying it is not true. Let me quote what the WHO said as well. We need to be exceptionally careful not to create a sense that all of a sudden the virus by its own volition has now decided to be less pathogenic. That is not the case at all. And this is what the WHO had said. But of course, the cases came much more in control in Italy immediately after the statement had been made as well. So now, even though no research as such backs this claim of the AIIMS doctor that the virus may be weakening, it is something that people are really looking forward to. We hope that research is able to prove the same. And just as it was in the case of Italy, how after the statement was made, it was an indication of how the cases are coming under control. That would be the beginning of things in India as well, that in India as well, the cases would come under control, and things would start to look much more better than what it is right now. And it opposes what has previously been claimed, that by June end or July, India will see its peak. So that was what we were talking about, the latest piece of information that has come in from AIIMS, something that was very look forward to and has come as a big relief. We'll wait out for the research, of course, and once that's confirmed, that's when the actual celebrations can begin. Of course, goes without saying that social distancing and masks and all the efforts that we have been taking until now needs to be taken. We hope that you're doing the same as well. Thank you so much for joining me on this Newsland Facebook Live. I'll see you next time.